level in 2015. They find us in still doing a second year subject. They are now our colleagues. You know, so that's how brutal the system is. But you have to overcome all those things. To say now you end up thinking that, am I that dumb? But how am I passing the other subjects and failing one subject? That's how bad that the system is. It destroys your confidence.
No, Dlamini,
yes.
That is an interesting reflection for us. But however, Dlamini, you would understand that every movement takes different interpretations. So it is important for us to look into the ideological implications of the movement, so that in history the intentions of the people who were involved in the movement are preserved properly. So I want you to take me through the ideological implications of Fees Must Fall. Of course, with this background, one author writes and compares Fees Must Fall to the Marikana massacre. He says basically the system is anti the working class and the poor. Would you say that Fees Must Fall falls within that ideological understanding? And please, perhaps delve deeper onto what was the ideological understanding of the students who were running in the street, perhaps looked and frowned upon by the society as irresponsible young people.
Well, like I said to you, remember that Fees Must Fall was a movement, not a party-led movement. We were united. It was a united front. You had EFF, you had SASCO, you had PASMA, you had the IFP. So we were united. So what united us was the pain. It was black students who were affected by what we were fighting for. So then, before, because why I'm bringing this, I'm saying the ideology was brought by the pain. They defined the movement. We ended up, Fees Must Fall, being a black conscious dominated because it was black students who were affected by the fees. It was black students who don't have residencies. It was black students who are academically and financially excluded. So automatically then we identified and aligned ourselves along the pain that we suffer as black students. So the ideology then that then pushed Fees Must Fall was that of Steve Biko, which is black consciousness. There was also a domination of Pan-Africanism. So Fees Must Fall was black conscious and Pan-Africanist driven, and it was socialist in nature. Because immediately when you say there must be free education, that is a socialist policy.
Okay, understood, Dlamini. Would you say then there is a noble justification when you juxtapose the event of Marikana and what happened in Fees Must Fall, in that institutions always respond violently when the people who are mitigated and marginalized are voicing out and fighting for their rights?
Yes. Marikana was black people who were fighting because they had been suffocated. They couldn't take it anymore. Then they exploded. Fees Must Fall is students, children of the mine workers. Fees Must Fall is children of the farm dwellers. Fees Must Fall is the children of the teachers. Fees Must Fall is the children of the unemployed. So there is an interlink between Fees Must Fall and Marikana. We are suffocated by white monopoly capital, in that when our parents in the mines are not being paid properly, we suffer as the children. So that's how you can link Marikana and Fees Must Fall. You link it based on white monopoly capital, exploitation by the imperialists, that the blacks are always the neglected and underprivileged. We are still oppressed in our country 25 years into democracy. So yes, there was a link. And remember that the universities or the institutions that were leading fees must fall.
Yeah.
It's the white institution.
Yeah.
Your Vet University,
Okay.
your UCT, your University of Pretoria, your University of Stellenbosch, UKZN. Those were the institutions that are white dominated, but they were leading this thing, and that's where the brutality was too much, because the establishment is protecting its own property.
Right, yeah, okay.
So the brutality was that you are now tampering with the establishment.
Okay. Dlamini, please stay on the line for me. We're going to go on a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to delve deep into what's happening currently in the country. You're still tuned into Wiggle Tunes. Please download our app and join us on our social media platforms. We'll be back right after this break.
Get people to notice your business whenever. Need assistance in planning your advertising campaign in the most innovative way? Maximize return on investment? Then Place My Ad is what you need by yours. Let our media planners help you place your advert in one of the most successful medium in South Africa. We help you with placing adverts in the following medium: radio stations, newspapers, television, billboards, and magazines. Nothing is out of our reach with Place My Ad. Contact us today at 087-943-9393 or send an email to bookings@placemyad.co.za and get people to notice your business today.
Want to take your brand everywhere? Switch to digital today and stand a chance of being seen by thousands of internet and mobile users. With more than 15 years of experience, Wiggle Digital Marketing has been providing quality digital marketing services in South Africa. We bring solutions that revolutionize the digital space, coupled with a variety of results-driven solutions such as website development, graphics design, logo design, business cards, app development, social media marketing, search engine optimization, content marketing, website maintenance, and website revamps. Make your brand recognizable. Contact our digital experts today. To get a quote, call us at 087-943-9393 or send an email to cr@wiggledigital.co.za.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel by simply searching for Wiggle Tunes on YouTube. Remember to ring the bell to get notifications.
This is Wiggle Tunes, South Africa's best informative digital radio.
Welcome back to Critical Dialogue with Sipesihle Shabalala on Wiggle Tunes. We're still having a conversation with Mcebo Dlamini. Do join us on our various platforms where we are bringing you the best conversation at your fingertips. Now, Dlamini, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
I want to read a couple of demands that are brought up by SAUS, of course, together with the agreement of presidents of various universities, because I want us to look at what you guys were fighting for at that time and if there's been any change. So please listen through. I'm going to quote maybe 2, 3, 4 of those demands that the young people are proposing. Now, the first one is the young people are asking for the cancellation of previous debts. The second thing they are saying is that previously disadvantaged students must be allowed to register for free. And they are also saying there must be an issuing of academic records and certificates for students who cannot afford to pay. And this is an interesting one, Dlamini. They are saying that there must be an inclusion of UNISA in all the benefits and the allowance that is being given by NSFAS. I want you to reflect on these demands and then distinguish for us if there's been any change or resonance from your time of struggle.
Well, these demands are valid demands.
Yes.
When I said to you that fees must fall was a broad umbrella, it indeed included these issues. Because if you remember when we raised these issues, we said the issue of previous debt have rendered a lot of young people who have completed their studies at university, but who can't graduate or get their certificate because they are owing. We have people who graduated in 2011, 2010, 2012, moving forward, but they are home because they are owing.
Okay.
So they can't contribute to the economy of this country because they are owing. We then said these previous debts must be clear.
Okay.
We even proposed that universities must at least now release these certificates or employ the students so that they can work at the university until they finish paying the debt, other than just destroying people who have already finished or who are qualified. You are sitting with skills which are unutilized.
Okay.
So there is a problem with us as a country in terms of our planning and thinking. You have people who are finished studying. You have invested and equipped these people. Now you can't allow these people to, use their skills that and benefit the country and pay tax.
Okay.
So we said to government, scrap the previous step,
Yes,
and then allow our people to graduate. On the issue of registration,
yes,
we said there shouldn't be a registration fee. A registration fee at VET where I was 9,740. We then said, where are you going to get 9,000 in Chanawa? Where are you going to get 10,000 in Chanawa? Because our parents don't work.
yes,
Our parents are working in the mines in Marikana where they are being slaughtered. Our parents work in the municipalities. There is no man. So then we dealt with that. I want to say now, as I speak, at VET there is no registration fee.
okay,
You just go and register and move on. And I know that a lot of other institutions have the same thing happening now.
okay.
What is the other one?
Of those mentioned, Dlamini, the issue of inclusion of UNISA in all NSFAS benefits, yes.
Yes. Now, when we look at the issue of UNISA, now we realize that some other subjects at UNISA are online subjects. You don't need to even go to campus.
Okay.
You don't need textbooks. You don't need anything. So then we were then told that you can't have UNISA, if you deal with UNISA, you can't deal with it as in a blanket approach.
All right.
Because UNISA operates differently from all other universities. But then there were subjects that were listed that if you do 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
because probably those are the subjects where you need textbooks.
Okay.
You need all these other things. But someone who studies at UNISA can argue the issue of UNISA better than me.
Okay.
Because remember, in as much as I am speaking for a black child, I went to a privileged university. I am not in the same space as someone who went to UNISA. I went to VET. I am privileged. I will be speaking from a point of privilege. I might then, when I try to speak for someone who went to UNISA, you find that I am misrepresenting their pain. So someone who went to UNISA can speak better for UNISA students.
Noted, Dlamini. Now let's get to administrative details. I mean, there's a saying that there is no free lunch in the world. Someone has to pay for it. And one of the documents that students submitted at the time, where you were still a student leader, they proposed a funding model ideally for 60 billion, and they said that 60 billion could take through 600,000 students, with each student becoming a 100,000 beneficiary. Now, in that model, they proposed that the government and the private sector could take up that debt, but still a student would be left with around 33,000 to pay back. Would you then maybe suggest or speak deeply on that proposal, whether it's valid or not, or whether there are other things that are being looked at in terms of how do we actually foot the bill? Because universities still need to be funded to continue their administration.
Look, when we say we want free education, we didn't mean that it is for free.
Okay.
What we meant is that the doors of learning must be open. In that, no matriculant must be worried or concerned about where she or he is going to get money to study the following year. All that you must think about as a South African child is that I must get the distinctions and I will study at any institution I want to. Once you are accepted at UCT and you are a South African, you must just pack your bags and go to UCT and not think about man. But once you graduate, we are prepared to pay back the man.
Okay.
Once I have graduated, and we said we want to return the money without interest.
Okay.
And we said that when we are studying, in as much as we are studying for ourselves, we are also studying for our country.
Yeah.
In that, government becomes the biggest beneficiary of the graduate. We then said, government must pay half, and we will return half.
Okay.
If government spends 100,000 on my degree, I will return 50,000 without an interest, and government will pay the other 50,000. That's what we spoke about.
Okay.
Not that we said that we don't want to pay and stuff like that. That's the media distorting the truth and what Fees Must Fall stood for.
Okay. Would you say then there has been progress, Dlamini, because the NSFAS, which was previously a loan, has been turned into the grant? And what's your general perspective on the institution NSFAS in general?
Well, NSFAS is going through the mode. There is poor administration at NSFAS. Not that there is no man. There is man. But the previous administration has been looting the coffers of NSFAS. And there has been corruption in these universities, in that ghost students have been paid NSFAS and other people have been paid extra NSFAS. So it's about corruption on us as black people, in that we don't prioritize and take certain things serious, that these have implications on the country. So now I'm fine with the rollout of the free education as announced by Jacob Zuma.
Okay.
But the problem is that it will take time for it to gel and be rolled out adequately and nicely. But we appreciate the initiative of rolling it out. With time, it will improve. As you can see, that students are protesting even today. The protests are meant to assist and or to perfect the NSFAS scheme. It is corrective measures. They are not protesting to destroy NSFAS. They are protesting to improve the operations of NSFAS, in that with time, NSFAS will be what the students want it to be.
Okay. Dlamini, education is a hope for a lot of students in underprivileged families. And we are seeing a rise on graduates that are not employed. Would you say there is a good correlation between the economic plan of the country and education? And if not, what would you advise for the country to do to make sure that as we educate the students, we are not sitting on debt, because we have quality students who have gone through the academic system, but now we do not know what to do with them?
When we were growing up, we were told that education is key to success.
Yeah.
Because that's how we were. Remember, we were all studying to be employed. As young people, we were studying to be employed.
Okay.
Now, we study to be able to think objectively, and for our people to start their own business. So our people must now be taught to run their own businesses, not to study to be employed.
Yeah.
Because there is no employment anymore.
Okay.
We must now start our own. But also the content or the curriculum or the degrees that are being offered in this institution, are these universities producing for the market?
Yeah.
Or they are just producing for themselves?
Okay.
Because that's why now we are saying there are students who have graduated but they are unemployed. What have they studied? they are not employed with what qualification? Because it's not as it was before, that with any, now the competition is high.
Okay.
The universities must produce for the market.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, okay. With that consideration, if you are saying students must change their mentality from being employed or being employable to entrepreneurship, so how are they going to get into this business fraternity? Who's going to be funding that endeavor? Because you can have a great business endeavor, but where is the funding going to come from? If we are struggling with funding education, how do you suppose we're going to be able to find entrepreneurship?
Now, you see, we are talking of government policy.
Okay.
We are speaking and saying in ordinary cause, or if we had a government that has a vision, this is the line of march that we should be taking. We are always told that government is now becoming a developmental state.
Yes.
When government wants to be a developmental state, you change your policies. But all in all, we need government to intervene and to participate in the curriculum and what is being taught at universities. That's when we have set our objectives to say this is the South Africa that we want. We then begin to channel and regulate the content and what is being taught to what we want to see. It's a process. It's not something that can happen overnight. But the issue of the degrees can happen anytime. There are degrees which are irrelevant. I might not mention them, which used to be relevant before. But now you can go to vet and spend 3 years there, and you are unemployable because the degree, no one needs it. So that's where maybe, that's what I'm talking about. I haven't yet seen someone who have done teaching who is not working.
Okay.
I haven't seen anyone who has done nursing who is not working.
Okay.
I haven't seen anyone who has done a social work who is not working.
Okay.
I have seen a lot of people who studied LLB who are not working. I have seen a lot of people who did BA General who are not working.
Okay.
So I am saying to you, it is now about the degree.
I hear you, Dlamini. Now,
I haven't seen a doctor not working.
Now, I hear you, Dlamini. There's a great controversy in that the same minister who's sitting currently in the position of higher education and training is the same minister you guys dealt with. I remember one of his remarks where he said, no students must fall. Are you seeing the current shutdown coming to an end anytime soon? Of course, with the current minister in sitting, Blade Nzimande?
There's nothing I can say about Blade. In my vocabulary, it doesn't exist. Yes.
So that's your brief comment, Dlamini.
It doesn't exist. There is no minister of education.
So you are saying you're not seeing universities resolving over these issues through the intervention of his
minister?
These are
problems that has been there during his time. And these are problems. No, what makes you as a man that every day is the same problem, every day? So that's why I am saying I have no comment for him. I have, because you will end up being insulted by clowns because some people refuse to think. I have nothing to say about the Minister of Education.
Okay, Dlamini, last question before we go to the break. Of course, you know, going to university, it is suburbs, and most of the students are coming from underprivileged backgrounds, which means from a periphery. They are coming there with hope to be accommodated and to have a roof over their houses. And most universities have very few beds within their campuses. Would you then be able to juxtapose for us the issue of student accommodation and land? Because other people are saying it is critical to address the issue of student residences, because that is primarily part of the struggle of the mitigated and marginalized.
Accommodation is land.
Yes.
You can't build the residences in the sky. the residences must be built in the land. And the land is in the hands of white people. So now when we say land must be given to its rightful owners, that's when you will be able to build the residences. So you can't separate the issue of student protest and the issue of land.
Yes.
So that's how it links. Accommodation is land.
Okay.
Because the residences won't be built in the sky. Yes.
No, I hear Dlamini. Stay on the line for us. We're going to go on a last break. You're still tuned to Wiggle Tunes Critical Dialogue, where we're bringing you the best conversation at your fingertips.
Want to take your brand everywhere? Switch to digital today and stand a chance of being seen by thousands of internet and mobile users. With more than 15 years of experience, Wiggle Digital Marketing has been providing quality digital marketing services in South Africa. We bring solutions that revolutionize the digital space, coupled with a variety of results-driven solutions such as website development, graphics design, logo design, business cards, app development, social media marketing, search engine optimization, content marketing, website maintenance, and website revamps. Make your brand recognizable. Contact our digital experts today. To get a quote, call us at 087-943-9393 or send an email to cr@wiggledigital.co.za.
Get people to notice your business whenever. Need assistance in planning your advertising campaign in the most innovative way? Maximize return on investment? Then Place My Ad is what you need by yours. Let our media planners help you place your advert in one of the most successful medium in South Africa. We help with placing adverts in the following medium: radio stations, newspapers, television, billboards, and magazines. Nothing is out of our reach with Place My Ad. Contact us today at 087-943-9393 or send an email to bookings@placemyad.co.za and get people to notice your business today.
This is Wiggle Tunes, South Africa's best informative digital radio.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel by simply searching for Wiggle Tunes on YouTube. Remember to ring the bell to get notifications.
Welcome back to Wiggle Tunes. You are on Critical Dialogue with Sipesihle Shabalala. Now, don't forget to download our app or join us in a conversation on our social media platforms. That's Wiggle Tunes on Facebook, Instagram, it's Wiggle Tunes, Twitter, it's Wiggle Tunes SA. Or if you want to send us your comments on WhatsApp, our number is 066-057-6802. Unfortunately, we lost Mcebo Dlamini on the line, but however, we are going to wrap up on his comments. He says he has absolutely no confidence on Blade resolving. And of course, the incapacity of people who are sitting in the presidency is a problem for the country. I think we really, as a society, we need to start holding the government liable. Universities are shutting out all over the country and students are losing out on valuable time of study and preparation. And we cannot continue to have this volatility in the higher institution and learning. And of course, part of the trivial things I still wanted to discuss with Dlamini is the culture of protest and violence. I believe that academics are at the forefront of the societal culture. And if academics have no resort, if their voices cannot be heard, if they are not burning anything, if they are not being violent, or if they are not in confrontation with the state in a violent manner, that means there's a problem with our country. The transition from the apartheid era to what we call now a free society is just a myth. I think we need to be vocal as both parents, young people, and children to say we cannot continue to exist in a country where those in power cannot hear us when we are not violent. We need our voices to be heard outside of violence. And I think that students and student leaders, I challenge all of them who are listening to me to say, we need to find different ways of confrontation, of grabbing the systems by the horns, to say, we need to be listened to. We are human beings. We cannot be shot at. We cannot be thrown tear gas at and jailed, because this is a regime that is promotive and accepting of freedom of speech. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to review the culture of protest and particularly violence, damaging resources that we would later need, incurring deaths and injuries that send others to more devastating phases. So we worry about the young people who are in those campuses and institutions of higher learning were sent by their parents. In fact, last year, one of the students was shot in the University of KZN. A child who was a hope of parents, a child who was a hope to community. So if we continue losing young people to violence and protest, I don't see this country going anywhere. So we put a challenge to the state. We put a challenge to the minister to say, can we prioritize the safety and the protection of our children, because they are the future of this country. And lastly, I think this is a nugget that we should all be thinking about. Is the economic system aligned to the education system? Because children cannot waste their valuable time going through education, sleepless nights, stress and hunger in those institutions, only to come back with a paper that has no value to the society. I agree with Dlamini. We need to pursue and think about entrepreneurship, because that is definitely the hope of this country. Small micro enterprises are employing over 90% of the people who are working today. You're with me, Sipesi Shabalala, on your critical dialogue on Wiggle Tunes. Don't forget to download our apps, and for future conversations, 066 057 6802. I'm tuning out. Have a great week ahead, and God bless.
Wiggle Tunes broadcasting live in South Africa. Your #1 online radio. To the rhythm.
Get people to notice your business whenever. Need assistance in planning your advertising campaign in the most innovative way. Maximize return